Hi everyone, I'm Deanna Breiwick, and this is Living Your Best Life with Deanna. I want to welcome you to our first episode, and I thought to kick things off, we would bake a cake. In these quarantine times, I see all of you are baking up a storm. I've seen banana bread, sourdough bread, cookies, but I feel like cakes are a bit underrepresented. And the fun thing about a cake is it brings such a festive feel. So let's dive in. Let's get baking. So first, you are going to mix your dry ingredients. Let's see, I'm gonna use this big bowl. I love these bowls. These are hand-me-downs from my great-grandmother. She lived till she was 104, wonderful lady, but yeah, they're cute. Okay, so flour. We're gonna mix that in with the sugar, cocoa powder, salt, and baking soda. And with cakes, you don't want to over mix. So you just kind of want things to get integrated. I love whisks. So we're gonna whisk that a little bit. Did you know that there's an opera about baking a chocolate cake? It's a Julia Child opera, and it's called Bon Appetit by Lee Hoiby, and I actually got to see it this summer when I was at Des Moines Metro Opera. It was completely delightful. It's just 20 minutes of chocolate cake goodness, what I'm trying to sort of replicate here. I cannot sing any of it for you when I don't know it, and it's also like totally opposite from my voice type for a low mezzo, so we're not going there today. But it was really lovely, and it was cool because Joyce Castle, she was singing it, and I actually did my first opera ever with Joyce Castle. I was at Manus, and we were doing Dialogues of the Carmelites, and so they brought in Joyce Castle as the Mother Abbess. And I just remember being completely blown away by the piece. This was my first opera, also by her intensity as an actress and a singer, and so yeah, it was a really cool experience, and that's when I got bit by the opera bug. All right, let's move on to wet ingredients. So we're gonna start with the olive oil, our magic ingredient. My dog Fritz is around here. I'm sure he will make an appearance soon enough, or make his presence known with some barking. He's very vocal. I say he's a Rossini tenor. He's got some very high piercing tones there. Okay, so we have the olive oil, vanilla, and our coffee. Yes! It has such an interesting smell. You'll enjoy this. With the coffee and the olive oil and the vanilla, it's unique, it's satisfying. So I'm just gonna whisk that up a little bit. And what you're gonna wanna do in your dry ingredients, we're gonna make a little well. And here we go with the wet ingredients. So I hope you guys are doing well during this time. I feel like everybody is learning a new hobby, taking courses online. It's really inspiring to see what everybody is up to in our quarantined days, you know? When it first started a couple weeks ago, I had a pretty tough time, I'm not gonna lie. I think it was just, you know, I came back from Monaco actually. I was singing in Monte Carlo, and we were in production up till, March 13th. And then suddenly it was like, borders are closing, get home. travel restrictions, and I thought, oh gosh, I gotta get out of here, you know, because in these times, ideally, if you can, you want to be with your people, your family and your friends. So I was lucky to get back to Seattle, to my family. Let's see, we're gonna add the eggs now. So I got back to my family, and you know, it was just a big transition, and also dealing with a lot of loss, which I know we're all dealing with right now. So that was tough, and I moved, I'm just gonna go all cave woman style here. You know, I went through a couple days of kind of depression, even though I was grateful to be with my family, grateful to be healthy and safe. I had a couple really tough days there, and I just feel like all of us are coping in different ways and at different paces. And I'm finding it's just really important to respect that, your own process and everybody else's process. So also, it's been really exciting to see how creative everybody has been getting on social media and doing you know, virtual streams, online concerts, the way artists have been collaborating with each other. That's exciting. All right, this looks beautiful. So you'll see it's a bit runny, and that's how we want it. It's pretty thin batter. So now we're gonna put it into our pans here. And the oven is already heated to, just have to check that there, to 350 Fahrenheit. Oh, look how gorgeous that is. Yes! Seriously, this cake makes me so happy. It also makes me happy because it tastes marvelous. Let's see, tastes marvelous. And it also, you'll see it looks beautiful. So you kind of get a high return for actually very little effort. It's not a difficult cake to make, as you can see. It's just about getting those right ingredients, and yeah. So once we do this, we're going to lift them up a little bit and drop them on the counter. Oh, sorry, Fritz, I just scared my dog. Just to make sure that you're getting all the air bubbles out. All right, that was fun. And here we go. Into the oven. We'll be back in about 25 minutes. All right, we are back. The cakes are cooled. We have our whipped cream, and I cut up one strawberry for a little topping. So we're just gonna pop them on this beautiful platter. This also is a hand-me-down from my great-grandmother. It's just the things they had in that era are so, so beautiful. All right, just a minute. So let's put some whipping cream on in the middle. Whipping cream, and I have a very strange relationship on stage, of all places. I've actually had quite a bit of cake drama on stage. One instance in particular when I was in Zurich. Let's see. Yeah, that's like a good amount there. So we're just gonna spread that around a bit. When I was in Zurich, I was doing this production of The Enchanted Pig by Jonathan Dove, and I was playing the role of Adelaide, who's a total bridezilla character. She's the villain of the piece. Her and her mother, who's a witch, so, you know, she's working through some childhood trauma throughout the course of the opera. And so at the end of the opera, my character gets a cake in the face, which is very satisfying for the audience, a little complicated for me. And so I'm on stage in a huge wedding dress, and I get the cake in my face, and at that time we were trying to figure out, I got some chocolate on my hands. We were trying to figure out if we were gonna do whipping cream or shaving cream. So we were trying whipping cream that time. So I get this huge like blob of whipped cream in my face. I can't see. The oil's like getting into my eyes, so I'm completely blinded. And then it hits the stage, which is raked, and basically turns it into like a sheet of ice. So I'm in this wedding dress. I'm on like a slip and slide stage, screaming at the top of my lungs. The orchestra's still playing, people are singing, and I am just like sliding down the stage. And I was so terrified because at this point I had to get onto a trap door that would then be lowered for my exit. So I was really afraid of like not being on it correctly and maybe slipping through and falling down the drop. So I finally get on the trap door, and so yeah, you're just gonna spread this around like so, however you want. I get on the trap door, I'm like clinging onto my colleague, we're going down, and I'm wearing this huge wedding dress where the skirt stays basically hooked up on stage. And my very scantily clad lower half was lowered down to a crew of stagehands who were waiting to assist me off of this trapdoor exit platform. But in this instance, they were just trying to grab onto whatever they could get a hold of on me to stabilize me on this platform. So my basically naked lower half is going down. I'm screaming. In the end, it was all okay. The dress kind of plopped back down. I was safe. That was all I cared about. You know, I didn't even care about being totally exposed down there. And I will say, because I had my cute panties on that day. And since then, whenever I have a costume fitting, I insist on like full coverage briefs, like granny panties, no matter what the costume is. Because I mean, when you're in a wedding dress, you're thinking there's no way there's going to be a wardrobe malfunction with this, but you never know. So that's my experience with some whipping cream and a cake on stage. Probably my most embarrassing stage story. And if you feel like sharing, provide some solidarity for me, please. Let me know yours in the comments below. And in the course of this ridiculous story, we finished our cake. How about that? Totally devouring this. It's so good. Thank you for joining me today. It was really fun baking with you. I hope you enjoy this recipe. Let me know if you give it a try. And until the next time, this is Living Your Best Life with Deanna.